who else is a more patriotic American than these fine folks? I mean, other than maybe Colonel Sanders, because his chicken is tinger flicking good. Or finger sticking good. They're definitely better than that Bernie Sanders guy. Can you believe I beat that guy in an election? I am Joe Biden, Bo Jiden. I mean, come on, man, you know the thing. As the President of America, I just want to say Jim Jar are cool cats. I mean, come on, man, you know the thing. As the President of America, I just want to say Jim Jar are cool cats. I am Joe Biden, Bo Jiden. Anyways, I gotta go. I have to go to deliver some tanks or something to that President Zelensky guy. Peace out, hooliganies.
What is up, you guys? Good morning, Good morning, Bangkok. Jesus Christ, it's afternoon. I keep doing it, but it's morning in Bangkok right now. So, good morning, Bangkok. Good morning, you guys. What's up, Les Bones, Brandy, D? Good to see you. I am trying to keep my eye on the Trump thing right now. So that's what I've been having some of that stuff on in the background, all that fun stuff. So I got that going on in the background. So we'll see how that goes. But definitely going to be covering the see if Trump gets arrested today. I don't know. You like the intro? I just made it this morning. Oh, I can't wait. I want more. I need more. But yeah, we're going to be keeping our eye out on that today. So we'll see how that goes. Like I said, I don't know. We'll see. They're saying that he might, he might be arrested. Then there's people out there on Twitter saying that it's not going to happen. You got the statute of limitations, all that stuff. So we'll see what happens. What's up, Shake and Bacon? Did you see the intro? Oh, I love it. I stole it. It's mine. All right. Who else is here? All right. Sorry, you guys. I was reading chat this morning in Twitter. I was all up in the chat. All right. So while I've got this Trump thing going on in the background, I can get started on some new stuff. I got some interesting things I found. But first, so if you guys saw the intro, I'll I'll get it played right now, so you guys can see. I want more. This is the video that I got it from. So if you guys saw my intro and you guys heard like the little what do you call it? The little sound bites that were in there. That is from, sorry, I'm trying to open it up and I'm just having the worst time right now doing it. And I just realized why I don't have my split screen on. Okay. So my intro has little audio pieces of Joe Biden. And I really, I saw, Shake and Bacon made this morning and I thought it was really awesome. So I took this like tidbits and snippets from it and added it into my yeah, exactly, Desert, come on, man. Yes, yes, contribute. Yes, I know. I need to put. I went to put because on the intro it says like that my brother is the music by my brother. I was trying to put like whatever you did in there by you, but I couldn't figure out what to put in there because I started with Chat GPT and I was like, well, it's not really Chat GPT. And you said it was some kind of AI thing. So I got to figure out a perfect word to put in there and then I'll put your credits under my brother's credit at the top in the intro. But so, okay, here is the video that Shake and Bacon made this morning that I took it from. And dude, I cannot tell you enough how freaking cool this is.
I am Joe Biden or Bo Jiden. I mean, come on, man, you know the thing. I just want to say something of utmost importance. Les Bones, Jimmy, and Warren, these are a bunch of amazing people. Who else is a more patriotic American than these fine folks? I mean, other than maybe Colonel Sanders because his chicken is tinger flicking good or finger sticking good. They're definitely better than that Bernie Sanders guy. Can you believe I beat that guy in an election? Anyways, as the president of America, I just want to say Warbones, Laren, and Jim Jar are cool cats. Anyways, I got to go. I have to go to deliver some tanks or something to that President Zelensky guy. Peace out, hooliganies.
Peace out, hooliganies. Oh, that is so goddamn good. I don't know what I have done in my life to deserve that. I fucking love it. It's great, right? That shit was awesome. I was like, dude, I put in the chat. I was like, one, I want to, what was it? I want to play it on my show. And two, I want to take some of those sound bites and I want to add those to my intro because that is the shit. So go check out Shake and Bacon. If you guys want to see the actual video of it so you can give him some views. He actually, am I allowed to give your YouTube away? Shake and Bacon, because I don't want to like give it out to people to start subscribing to you if you want to keep that hidden, because I know there's like some older videos in there of you too. So I'll just let people enjoy the video until I have permission to to do something with it. But yeah, that was really awesome. I thought that was cool. So that's my new intro now. I think I'm going to put it onto the What song as well, the one that Yona made. I think that would go good with that because it's like a, techno rave music. And then you got Joe Biden randomly saying stupid shit. I think that would be awesome. I think that's what I'm going to do next. AI technology. There you go. It's cool. That's attempt number one. You're going to try to do more stuff. I'll make an actual channel for that. The video is unlisted. Okay. That makes sense. All right. So yeah, we're going to have some new stuff and I'm so excited. I think Unicorn just kind of Shake and Bacon. I think Shake and Bacon just kind of fell into his what do you call it? His like meaning in life. So bad, but I love it. I think it's absolutely awesome. This is so great. You can make anybody say anything for anybody. It's gonna be the shit. Oh, I love it. I absolutely love it. All right, so I want to see if there's still anything going on with I was watching Fox about the Trump indictment thing today, and it looks like they're doing a White House press briefing on banking crisis and possible Trump arrest and more right now. So maybe, well, it's really funny, actually. I wanted to kind of talk about this because yesterday I was showing you guys the White House press briefing brought on that group, the soccer show or whatever. And we were watching it yesterday and we were, I was trying to show you, or I showed you guys, there was a guy that was like yelling things and saying, this isn't Russia and this isn't China. And he's been trying to get a question for 7 months and nobody's answered his questions. I was trying to figure out what he was talking about, like when he was yelling things. And come to find out, he actually is a very well-known reporter, journalist that goes there. He hasn't been asked a question, I guess, in about 7 months or so. And I ended up finding out, like, I looked up his name and I found out some stuff about him. And I thought it was like really, really interesting how they were treating him, or how they treat him, and how they've been just treating him. So this guy is like a journalist for an African news company, I believe. His name is Simon. Oh shit! His name is Simon Atiba, and they've been treating this guy like crazy bad for a while now. So I'm going to show you what happened yesterday. Right? Yeah. So this person made a really awesome little presentation of what happened yesterday. So shout out to whoever this guy is. What's up, Cape Socialist? Good to see you. Yes, Simon Atiba. Yeah. This guy named John Talks made like a nice little compilation of what happened yesterday, so we can kind of re-see what happened. And I thought it was really, really funny how he made it. He kind of did a little video edit on it. Steve Breedlove. Hi, good to see you.
Right, you're right. You're here for me. Right for me. No, that's not. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this. We're not doing this.
From across the room. You've been discriminating against me and discriminating against some people in the briefing room. And I'm saying that this is the US, this is not China, this is not Russia. This is not Russia.
Okay.
What you are doing, you are making a mockery of the First Amendment.
So that's what he said yesterday. You're making a mockery of the First Amendment, which, you know, free speech. Yeah. If they're only picking and choosing their favorites to talk to or to ask questions to them so they can take easy questions or, you know, pre-approved questions, then absolutely it's a mockery of the First Amendment. This guy is not from America and is getting like firsthand treatment of how Americans are actually really treated.
A few moments later.
Make sure.
You can't keep discriminating against some people in the briefing room because you don't like.
So you have a choice.
No,
you have a choice. You have a choice.
A number of people
Okay.
in the briefing room, and I'm saying that that's not right. This is not China. This is not Russia. This is the United States. This is the White House. There are people in the back who don't get any.
Okay. I don't want to get in trouble for music on that one. But yeah, true. Yep. Press secretary should be rebranded as Minister of Propaganda. They never let him speak. Yep. They won't let the African journalists ask questions. Absolutely. Yeah. No, it gets even worse. So yesterday, he went on to Tucker Carlson show to talk about what happened to him because, you know, it's the left-wing media people that are in control of the office right now. So it's left-wing media that is only being able to ask questions. So we have to hear from the right-wing media what this guy actually went through. So here's Tucker Carlson actually interviewing the guy himself.
I want to know what a complete sham, what a fraudulent, grotesque perversion of reality the White House have become. You should see what happened today.
I'm going to skip it to when he gets on because, you know, Tucker, he likes to go off like he's Mr. Innocent, and they didn't do it when Trump was in office either. So
here you have the White House press secretary, whose job it is to answer questions from journalists on behalf of the entire American population, hijacking the event to promote a TV show, and then screaming at a guy who wants his questions answered. And then the other shills in the room don't take the side of their fellow journalist, but take the side of the lady at the front to whom they were.
I know it was a good song, but I'm going to get copyright striked for sure.
Trying to shut down Simon Atiba. Who did that? Well, this is a partial list. That would include Jeff Mason of Reuters, who should be ashamed, Brian Karam of CNN, Associated Press correspondent Zeke Miller, even apologized to the press secretary later in the press conference. They, again, should be ashamed of themselves. And previous generations of reporters would have turned on them. Really, you're taking her side? She's a liar? Your job is not to suck up to power. It's to serve your viewers and readers by getting to the truth. But instead, they piled on Simon Atiba. Really the most revealing moment maybe ever in the White House press room. We are honored now to be joined by Simon Atiba himself. Simon, thank you so much for coming on. We're really glad to have you. What prompted, you seem very frustrated there. What prompted your exchange with the press secretary?
Yes, thank you, Doctor. Thank you for having me on your show. I'm grateful. You know, the First Amendment protects the freedom of speech, the press, and assembly, and the right to petition your government to seek redress. And yes, that First Amendment says that I have the right to ask questions, to do my job, and the press secretary doesn't need to like me, date me, marry me, have 2 black children with me. She doesn't need all that. She doesn't even need to like my accent, doesn't need to like what I look like, where I come from. They look down on me. They don't respect the First Amendment. And so what has been happening in the White House is in the past 7 months, I've done all the right things. I've not been called on. I've gone to her office to seek a meeting. She said that she will meet with me next year. I've sent questions about the Nigerian election, about the problems, challenges in Africa. And they've not called on me, even as the vice president is going to Africa, even as the first lady, Jill Biden, went to Africa, even when they received 50 African leaders for the US African Summit in Washington, D.C. The guy who covers the White House, the African guy who covers the White House, is looked down upon in the greatest country in the world, in the most advanced country where freedom of speech is protected. It's a shame what happened today. One of the guys that you showed there now, Brian, he was kicked out of the WACA because he became violent in the Rose Garden. It's a disgrace. It's very violent. He attacks many people. It's a shame. What happened to me today, it's a total disgrace, and it's happening in the Biden White House. And when it happens to Jim Acosta of CNN, because they respect him, he's white, he works for CNN, I'm black, I'm African, I don't have money. They look down on me. I don't have the opportunities that they have. And they don't treat me the same way. I need to do my job. The freedom of speech and the press in the US allows me to do my job, and that's the only thing that I'm trying to do. And they are stonewalling me, trying to help Karine Jean-Pierre, and it's a shame.
Yeah, I agree with you, Steve. You could tell this guy is really upset, like genuinely. And it just goes to show, that there's still racism, even in the White House, like this, like true, pure, example of racism, not letting the African ask questions, not even like whatever Jean-Pierre or whatever her name isn't even going to meet with him until next year, says in 2024. Like that shit it's really sad to see how, I see it happen on both sides, obviously. Whenever whoever's in office, the opposite side media gets treated like that. But it's really sad to see it in this kind of perspective too, that the still, racism is ever present still. So yeah, exactly. Even that's what I was thinking too. I was like, God damn, like, if anybody that's a press secretary is going to talk to an African journalist, it's going to be an African descended press secretary that would want to talk to them more. But it just shows the imperialism that, she just wanted easy pre-approved questions. She didn't want to ask or answer any of the tough questions. And she didn't want to have to talk in front of other journalists about Africa, probably because she didn't want to have to get that, situation involved, or she didn't want to have to talk about it and discuss it in front of all those journalists, so that way it would be on the media later on in the news. She wanted those easy questions, not talk about Africa, leave it alone. But they're obviously dipping their toes in Africa still, so they can go and treat Africa the way they want. But when Africa actually makes it to America, so that way we they can say, hey, we don't like what you guys are doing, we completely ignore them. So racism. So it's good to see you too, Sam Cedars King. No, I didn't quit. It was just I had the snowstorm and was trying to get things back to normal around here. Today is a big day. I'm keeping my eye on it. So far, nothing yet. I've got my eye on Fox News. They're the ones that I'm watching. So, yeah, exactly. He's not in the state media club. So here's I found this. This was from 7 months ago when Atiba tried to ask a question as well on this one. And what's really interesting about this is, okay, so this is from Forbes. Yeah, he had the same issue with Psaki. Yeah, this is him with John Kirby as well. So I guess this guy John Kirby was talking during the White House press briefing. This was 7 months ago, and he's saying that the title of it from Forbes is "You need to be more respectful." And then Kirby chides a reporter for calling out a question. But if we sit here and we actually watch this, all right, like from the beginning, why do I hear it coming from my computer? You'll hear that this guy actually asked a question first. Like Atiba asked the question before the other guy did, and he just completely ignored him. So what?
Mr. Kirby, can you clarify what?
See, Mr. Kirby, can you? And then he looks over to the guy and says, "Who's that?"
Can you clarify what your job at the White House is?
And then completely ignores Mr. Atiba and goes to the whoever reporter is around that guy.
You said that our policy toward China has been.
And now it's a shout out, like who's going to be able to get their question heard. So they're purposely ignoring Mr. Atiba. That you could see that right
Your
there.
name is Simon, right?
Yeah, I really
Si-
want to ask you a
Simon?
question.
Simon?
I'm trying to ask you this question.
Simon.
If you allow me to ask you this question.
Sir, I'm gonna call on this man. Now, sir, listen now, I've been polite to you, but I expect a little bit of respect in return. You know where we are? This is the White House press briefing room, and you need to be more respectful. I'm gonna call on this reporter.
You're not
You described our
law.
policy toward China as consistent.
Sam Cedar is king. Try to like exit and then come back in and then bring up the live chat. It might just be glitched out or something.
And clear, but the U.S. policy toward Taiwan is also described as strategic ambiguity. Don't you think it's sort of that ambiguity that has allowed tensions like we're seeing now have developed?
No, we would not agree with that at all. No.
So on the subject of
And then there you go. So he completely ignored him. So let's watch it from the beginning again.
Mr. Kirby, can you clarify
Who's that?
can you clarify what your
Yes, sir.
job at the White House is?
Right there. I mean, that's all we really need to watch is like the first 6 seconds. You can hear Atiba ask a question first. Then you hear him turn to the guy to the right and say, who's that? And then completely ignore Atiba and go for another guy question. And then Atiba wants to have his question answered. So he continues to talk. This is kind of the game of like media and press and stuff is the you know, that's a little bit of a shouting match at first to see who can get their question, and then people just start being quiet and one person asks the question. So I do have one more to show about this. This was from 2 months ago with Atiba as well. This is him also talking about how the Karine Jean-Pierre lady won't meet with him until 2024. It's just showing more racism in the White House.
Secretary doesn't, despite the title, exist to convey information.
You
but
still don't
to
see
withhold
anyone, Sam? Yeah, I'm not sure. I see everyone in the chat. Are you on the wrong channel?
it. And in this White House, the press secretary bans any reporter who asks real questions. And that includes, and it especially includes, a man called Simon Atiba. Simon Atiba is the most famous and we would say finest reporter in all Africa. And that means that Karine Jean-Pierre does not want to talk to him at all. She hasn't called on him in more than 4 months. Now the White House says that Karine Jean-Pierre will not meet with Simon Atiba until next year, which of course means never. Simon Atiba is with Today News Africa. He joined.
Yeah, Sam, you're on the Image Productions channel. I just throw that on the. I throw this live stream on my little side YouTube channel, just so in case YouTube decides to you know, throw my show or throw KRTD away and trash it forever. It's kind of like a backup. So if you go to KRTD Media, that's where everyone is at right now in the chat. You're in the Image Productions one. Sorry about that. I try not to share out my Image Productions one, like I said, because I'm just trying to keep it for a oh, it looks like I'm on my Jimmy Saves World one too. Oops, I didn't mean to do the 2 extra ones. Like I said, I usually do it on my own personal channel as a backup, just so I can keep my stuff. There you go. So yeah, go over to the KRTD Media. Oh, you just want to talk to me in Gamer? Okay.
Joins us tonight. Simon, thank you so much for coming on.
You know,
So
Sam
on
Cedar,
what grounds?
Yeah, Steve. Sam Cedar is King is over on my other channel on the Image Productions one. That's like right there, but it's not my Twitch, it's my YouTube. So like I said, I stream to my personal channel on my YouTube, so that way I've got the backups. But he's over there. I think he's coming over here. I'm not sure. Oh, come on, play the video.
Will she just not meet with you?
First of all, thank you for having me talk
course.
on your show. It's the most watched show, and I'm always glad to be here. You know, as the voice of Africa in the US, I love the US. I always love freedom. I love democracy. And even if you paid me $100 million to move to China, I will not move to China. I would like to be in the US, because the ideals of the US is the ideals those are the things that I love, and those are the things that most African also love. I feel like Karine Jean-Pierre, she has no clue what's happening in Africa. She doesn't understand that China is expanding and also spreading disinformation and misinformation against the US, that they are competing against the US. Competition is good, but then when competition comes with destroying democracy, and that becomes a problem. And she doesn't know that. That's why she discriminates against me. She's not called on me for the past 4 months. And so last week I tried to meet with her. She told me she will not meet with me until 2024, maybe.
And see, he sounds like he's even doing quote unquote like American good work. He's just saying right there that China's interested in Africa, wants to work in Africa. Competition is good, and he was trying to try to get something from us Americans in the White House of what our opinion is of China trying to take over Africa, and she won't even answer it. She doesn't want to have to answer it because it's not on the top of the list right now. It's all about Ukraine. It's all about all these other things that we're doing. Africa's not on the top of the news list right now, so they don't have to answer to it. They only want to talk about that kind of stuff when they're ready to talk about that stuff, when they're wanting to do something about that stuff. That's why. Other than that, it's keep it on the down low, keep it down. So yeah, exactly. They won't call on him because he challenges the State Department's narrative. Yeah, that's what they say. That's what they're saying. I mean, even Tucker's like, this guy's great. So, oh, thanks, Sam.
I wonder if it's the case that she doesn't call on you because she doesn't want to hear about Chinese influence in Africa.
Yes, I feel like she doesn't take serious questions. She wants to have questions that she's received in advance. She doesn't want. I ask tough question. I may ask her about many things that happen in Africa, including immigration, for instance. How does it make sense that Africans who are here, for instance, who came legally, apply for asylum legally, have to wait for 6 years for their cases to even be heard. And their cases are not heard after 6 months, but they see people crossing, just walking across the border, and then they have all the benefit the next day. How is that fair to Africans?
Well, that seems like a completely reasonable question, and you have the authority to ask it. Simon and Atiba, we are rooting for you in the White House briefing room. We hope they'll change their minds and stop what they're doing. But in the meantime, you always have a place here on the show. Thank you. Good to see you.
Man, this poor guy. I was trying to listen. Wait, what did he say right here?
If it's the case that she doesn't call on you because she doesn't want to hear about Chinese influence in Africa.
Yes, I feel like she doesn't take serious questions. She wants to have
like the stuff I was just
questions
saying.
that she's received in advance. She doesn't want. I ask tough question. I may ask her about many things that happen in Africa, including immigration, for instance. How does it make sense that Africans who are here, for instance, who came legally, apply for asylum legally, have to wait for 6 years for their cases to even be heard? And their cases are not heard after 6 months, but they see people crossing, just walking across the border, and then they have all the benefit the next day. How is that fair to Africans?
Well, that seems like a completely reasonable question, and you have the authority to ask it.
Okay, they're
Simon
talking
Atiba,
about
we are
border
rooting for
crossing.
you.
Okay, they're talking about border crossing and stuff. He's kind of like half right, because even people that don't come here legally aren't on, medical insurance or, free money or anything like that. If you look at people I think we just watched something recent, not recently. I think it was about a couple of months ago where some people were migrating from Haiti to here. And they were doing it illegally, and they just ended up getting stuck at the border, sent back to Haiti, and now are in jail in Haiti with no charges, not even being heard or seen or anything, just being held there and being held for ransom by family members or against family members. So like family members have to pay for them to keep them alive in there or else they would die. So, it's kind of like half right, half wrong. He's right. the Africans are treated wrong at the borders and stuff. Even if they come legally, that's still not really that great for them. But it's a lot of people too. It's a lot of different countries and different ethnicities that are having to deal with that kind of mistreatment and abuse of human rights. So, but he is right though, and it's really interesting because when I showed it yesterday, I didn't even think anything of it. I was just like, well, who's this guy screaming? We should be listening to this guy. I didn't expect like the news to be covering it. Like independent news just covered all of it this morning. That's why I had to bring it up again, is because I was like, whoa, y'all are talking about this one guy. So I had to do my research and figure out who he is and all that stuff. So it's crazy. I know. I was like, who's this new Tucker? There's some old Tucker in there. He likes that question because illegals. Yeah, exactly. It was against illegals. So, legal citizens, people coming here legally versus people coming here illegally. So it still kind of caters to what, he says. But yeah, it's very interesting to see him be on the side of humanity a little bit, I guess, and the side of like minorities. But it's interesting. Yeah, I don't like Tucker really that much either. But, when it comes to like people running running in office, so like your presidency and the Congress, the Senate and the House, whoever's in charge of that, I usually tend to watch the news of the opposite because usually the news of the ally of that are very close-minded and one-sided. And especially now with CNN and all of them, like I always try to watch the news a little bit to kind of see through the lines, read between the lines of it. But they're very upfront lately. Everything's about Russia and Ukraine. So it's, I gotta get something somewhere. But that sentiment is legitimate. A friend of mine is a retired diplomat. He agrees legal migrants get screwed while not legal is much faster, but not for everything though. I don't know. I've met some people who came here illegally and are having a really, really hard time. So I see it in both sides. He was a passport visa official in India and Pakistan for first half of his career. Yeah. See, because I see like the complete opposite. So, yeah. I guess there's like a good 50-50 of half. I don't know. But yeah, I guess you can't really do the whole, because one group is like this, everybody's like this. So, what else can we do? Oh yeah. So, wait, let me check on Trump being arrested. Has he been arrested yet? Do we know? Is it still like nothing going on? See, it's hard to find like which one, because everything has, a picture of Trump. He's going to be arrested today. Here, like I'll present this to you so you guys can see. Like, is Trump going to be arrested today? But then you like hover over it and it's nothing. Like it's not anything. That's why I was watching Fox, but it looks like Fox went off the air. And they don't have a lot of people watching them, so usually something's going down when there's a lot of people watching. So there's 3,000 watching this one. Trump indictment possible. Trump 2024 channel. Let's check this out. Is that him live? No, that was him at CPAC. That's not even him live right now. See, that's what makes all this stuff so hard, is like trying to find the good thing.
Cruise missiles late Monday night. The cause is still unclear, but it came just 2 days after Putin.
More Ukraine stuff.
Trying to send two important messages both of the way.
Let's see if we back it up a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, it looks like nothing yet. Trump waits out grand jury as New York braces for protest.
From 9/11, we've had, I'm dating myself, but the old mafia bosses such as John Gotti and all those other guys. I mean, there were some big time court cases down in Lower Manhattan before. I'm not really worried about that aspect of it. And you know what? This might even pale in comparison to some of those terrorism cases way back when, about 15, 20 years ago. So I think that this is going to be pretty muted. I mean, there was a very small group of people outside the court yesterday. So I don't anticipate anything really terrible happening. But like I said, you have to be prepared for the worst.
Of course, definitely. All right. Well, Joseph Jackalone, thank you so much for joining us as always here. Anything you want to add about all of this before I let you go?
Yeah, no, I mean, listen, everyone is entitled to, peaceable assembly. That's all that, the law enforcement apparatus is asking, that if you're going to come down and protest, just do so peacefully, right? Don't, destroy things. I mean, there was a couple of fires set last night that they don't know yet exactly who set the police cars on fire, but I'm sure there's video surveillance. I'm sure they'll be releasing that soon. But that's the kind of, things that they worry about: property damage, people getting hurt, that kind of thing.
This is the kind of stuff that I've been watching like all morning on here, is like 3 different screens. One of them has Mar-a-Lago and then other stuff.
Thanks for having me, Josh.
Thank you again for that conversation. Still awaiting that potential arrest of Manhattan DA. There's still plenty of people outside of that. We'll keep you posted on this here on Live Now from Fox. We do want to give you a live look inside the White House as President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden expected to host a ceremony for the National Humanities, where they'll award the National Humanities Medals and National Medal of the Arts. We'll take you out to that as soon as it happens. They're scheduled to get going in a few minutes here, so we'll take you out to that.
Still nothing yet. Doesn't look like anything is going on. Man, we're going to be waiting all freaking day. And see, I thought I was going to be able to catch it while I was live streaming because I'm 3 hours behind West Coast, but that didn't happen. All right, so while we're waiting for anything else to come up during that, let's bring this up. So this week, Kim Iverson had Alan Dershowitz on her show, which was really, who is Jeffrey Epstein's attorney. And while he was on air, he accused her of sandbagging her by asking questions about Epstein, claiming it was unethical journalism, and said that he's never coming back. So either today or Thursday, that's what I've been hearing. So maybe I'm just kind of holding on to watching for nothing. I don't know. Yeah. Beginning of a civil war. I think it isn't a big deal. What do I think? I think it's not that big of a deal. I don't think anything like a civil war is going to happen or something. I just know that maybe like some Republicans are going to be mad that, Hillary and them weren't arrested, but I don't think a civil war is going to happen. No. And I honestly don't think Trump's going to be arrested too. I think the statute of limitations is already passed. And, if a guy who did some really horrible things to a child who grew up and tried to charge them with it, and statute of limitations is, hold strong on that bullshit, then I'm pretty sure statute of limitations is going to hold on this as well. So I don't know. If anything, it's a misdemeanor and they can get themselves out by paying a good fine or something. So it's not that big of a deal to me. But here is the Alan Dershowitz calling Kim Iverson a sandbagger, which is crazy.
Dershowitz, while I have you here, I covered the Jeffrey Epstein case extensively, and your name came up quite often. Virginia Giuffre actually accused.
I'll check you later, Mantis. Have a good day and enjoy your walk with your doggy. Yeah, it'll probably be a misdemeanor. That's what I keep saying. It's probably most likely a misdemeanor.
You then later backtrack, say that she had made a mistake. There were others who had also accused you, but you had said that they couldn't properly.
Hold on. Let's start this over so I can pay attention, even though I've already seen this a few times. All right. Alan Dershowitz, lawyer of Epstein, author of a book called Get Trump, was on Kim Iverson's show. Okay, let's watch this. I got to go potty too.
Mr. Dershowitz, while I have you here, I covered the Jeffrey Epstein case extensively, and your name came up quite often. Virginia Giuffre actually accused you, then later backtrack, say that she had made a mistake. There were others who had also accused you, but you had said that they couldn't properly identify you or certain parts of you, and therefore.
No. It wasn't identified. It's that one woman said she saw me walking up the stairs of Epstein's house at a time years before I'd ever met Epstein. So that was just a complete made-up story. And the other woman had written a series of letters to the New York Post claiming she had videotapes of Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton having sex together, and have many other people. And then, of course, she backed away from all of it. And I've been completely, totally exonerated and vindicated. I never met any of these people. I never heard of them. I defended Jeffrey Epstein the way I've defended hundreds of other people, some guilty, some innocent. But I did absolutely nothing wrong. I've been completely exonerated. I've been completely vindicated. I'm completely innocent. I've never touched anybody sexually since the day I met my wife during the relevant time period. And so I did nothing wrong.
Why do I keep doing that to myself? Does anyone know how old his wife is? I'm just curious.
And nobody who
Exactly. This is super awkward. I know. It's so gross. This old knack. You know, Dershowitz is always going to lie about this, hence why it makes no sense to even talk to him. Yeah.
has ever accused me has done it with any evidence or any credibility. So I'm happy to go on with my life, let them go on with their lives, but
Right.
categorically, unequivocally, I did nothing wrong.
So you do admit that you did receive a massage at his mansion?
No, what happened is my wife got a massage at his house, and then I had a neck and shoulder massage from a woman named Olga, who was like 45 years.
See, he's like, I never got touched by anyone. I never touched anyone. And then he's like, oh, I got a neck massage and a shoulder massage. And my wife got massages. But my massagist's name was Olga. So that just sounds like she's an old lady too. You know, we gotta keep it up with that. It's so gross. Like, how are you gonna sit there in one sentence say that you never did anything, and then the next sentence say you got a massage from somebody? So gross. What's up, dude? Good to see you. Nice to see you. Never, yeah, exactly. Never touched, but I was touched. Exactly. Ugh.
Years old. Virtually everybody who went to any of Jeffrey Epstein's houses got therapeutic massages. They were offered to everybody, but I've never had a
Therapeutic massages were offered to everybody at Epstein's house. Didn't you know? God, how is that? How is he not incriminating himself with this stuff? I just don't understand how you can freely say this and then reject the fact that people are accusing you of these things. Oh, God. Exactly. Yeah, it reminds me of the Bill Clinton stages. It's so gross.
Sexual massage or anything improper. I've never been touched by an underage person. So no, that's not true at all.
You see, he said it with a smile. Did you see that? Like, I'm not a professional body language reader, but usually when they say something like that with a smile, it's because they're hiding something. It's like they feel a little bit elitist because they know something that you don't know. Watch.
Been touched by an underage person. So
that right there, you know, the niceties. It's super gross, right? It's therapeutic to ejaculate. That's probably what he would use as his excuse. Good morning or good afternoon, Peace Dove. Good to see you. Yeah, clear to say underage. Exactly.
So no, that's not true at all.
Okay.
What else? You have anything else you want to throw at me?
Anything else you want to throw at me? All right, here comes
Okay.
Just a couple more things.
Okay.
Just a couple
I
more
did
things.
absolutely nothing wrong. Yeah.
Okay. Well, many of us suspect that Jeffrey Epstein was an asset to Mossad, and that Ghislaine Maxwell was in fact an agent of Mossad. There's a lot
Totally
of evidence that
nonsense.
point to this direction, and
No,
that they
there's no
were
evidence.
operating a blackmail operation in
Yeah.
order to get very powerful people, including people like yourself, in precarious positions to where you could potentially work on behalf of the state of Israel or protect the
Well,
state of Israel
I've been
in
working
some
on
way.
the state of Israel. I've been working for the state of Israel since before you were born. Jeffrey Epstein once visited me in Israel. He had never been there. He didn't know anybody in Israel.
Yeah.
He didn't work for the Mossad. The Mossad wouldn't hire him. And I hope he had videotapes of everybody, because they would show I never did anything improper. I have one other question. Are you?
Yeah, exactly, Chris. If all my friends were drug dealers and I always hung out in their houses and shit all the time, it would be safe to assume that I was hustling with them. Absolutely. It's you walk like a duck, you talk like a duck, you act like a duck, you must be a fucking duck. I'm sorry, but this guy's obviously got his hands around some really janky, dirty, nasty people. He even he just said himself, he's like, I've been helping out Israel since before you were born. Oh, okay. So not only are you a dirty pervert, but you're an imperialist too. That's great. Colonizer. Disgusting. Yeah, keep saying I did nothing wrong, because you repeat it enough times, you start to believe it yourself, and then you repeat it enough times and other people start to believe you as well.
You used to having people come on your show to talk about one subject and then sandbagging them on another subject without any warning, because it's nice to know you do that, and it will make certain that I have nothing to hide. I'm happy to talk about any of this, but I'm used to more ethical journalism.
No, we actually did notify the people who booked you onto the show that you would be asked about Epstein, and they assured us that you were aware
No,
of
they
this.
never notified me about that, and you'd have to show me that email.
Okay. One last question. Do you think that Jeffrey Epstein killed himself?
No, of course not. Well, he didn't kill himself without the help of some people. He did kill himself, but he killed himself with the help of guards. He didn't do it by himself. He couldn't have done that, obviously.
What in the hell do you think Jeffrey Epstein could have offered these guards to sit there and not watch him and turn off cameras while he offed himself? Like, I'm sorry, but if you're just a random guard working at a random prison, it just doesn't make any sense to me how he thinks that the guards were making sure that they weren't around when he did this to himself, and they were just, like, as a human being. Imagine yourself as a guard at a prison, like, oh yeah, this dude over here wants to off himself, so he asked me to turn the other way and not look and then turn off the cameras. I'm just gonna help him out with that really quick because I'm an ally. It just doesn't make any freaking sense to me how that is the excuse that he's giving. I'm sorry. And like I said at the beginning too, like what kind of money is he going to offer? Because whoever is taking over his finances and stuff is not going to give these guards any money. They're screwed. Maybe they did get paid. I'm not sure. But if I was a guard and some guy, even if it was Epstein himself, was like, turn the other way, I'll give you a bunch of money if you do, I wouldn't do it. Like you're trying to kill yourself. Either there's some really janky, really corrupt, guards who don't care. Everybody knew the Jeffrey Epstein stuff. I would figure even a guard would be like, no, bro, you're gonna stay alive so that you can face this shit because you done fucked up. So it just doesn't make any sense to me how a guard, I guess money talks, and if you give him enough money, okay, but man, this was the case of all cases for a while. It just doesn't seem normal to me that a guard, knowing full well who Jeff Epstein was and how big this was, would just turn the other way and turn a blind eye while he did this, knowing that he'd never go to court and face justice and all of this stuff. It doesn't seem right to me. I don't know. His little excuse just doesn't seem correct. So Epstein is watching this interview laughing. Exactly. Alan Dushowitz. I like that. We should get Pat Cody to do that, to like create a Twitter account with that name like he used to do with the Peter Douche. That shit was so freaking funny. No, he didn't, but actually, yes, right? I know. Yeah, that could even bring up the conspiracy of like, he's actually not dead. He's out there in some island and stuff. Like, he didn't, but yes. So like, it's never a yes or a no. So you don't know. The violation of policy would risk their jobs. They have a distinct disincentive to helping. True, they are guards. I don't know. It's just knowing how big this case was. I would just be so hell-bent on making sure that he sees justice more than I would just want the money just so he could die and never see the justice. Just the pettiness alone, I would just be like, nah, you going through some shit. You're going to get killed by some prison inmates once you're done with the court. Like, I don't know. Even as guards, like when I went to jail, the guards and they were always like, have fun, deal with this shit yourself. Have fun. I wouldn't see him doing it like you doing it to yourself, especially something that big. It's so hard. You believe Jeffrey Epstein is still alive? Face off. He's back on the island. Right. The
videos were turned off, and the guards turned their back, and his cellmate left. So I think he killed himself, but he killed himself.
Yeah, and his cellmate left. Did they just take his cellmate out? Did they just say, oh, this guy wants to kill himself, so cellmate, you got to go. You got to get out of here.
Assistance of some people in law enforcement.
Okay. All right, Mr. Dershowitz, thank you so much for joining the show. Appreciate you.
Well,
being
it's
here.
the last time. It's the last time you'll have me on your show. Just take advantage of it.
I think I got what I needed out of you. Thank you very much.
Go fucking Kim, dude. His ego is so ridiculous. Enjoy it because this is the last time you're gonna have me on your get the fuck out of here. I would have went harder on him. I would have been like, oh, okay, this is the last time you're on your show. I got 10 more minutes. Let's go. Let's keep talking. And then just start really just racking in those questions on his ass. Like, this is how you want to act? All right, bro. I got you. Don't trip. Fuck him. His nasty ass yellow crooked teeth. Ugh. Gross. So yeah, that's how that happened. And then I just want, if you guys remember this, which I thought, this is never ever gonna go away, and I love it. I know it's from Veritas, Project Veritas, but man, this was the only time I ever saw something where I was just like, oh fuck yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So Kim rocked that interview. I agree. She did good. She held face. She was very professional. And then I like the little smirk at the end. The well, I got what I needed out of you. Like, go girl. That's what I'm talking about. Slay queen. She should have made him quit long ago. Right? Exactly. So I thought this was really cool, just so we can have a little reminder of, Amy Robach, ABC News anchor. This chick was on The View, okay? She was a regular host on The View. That's how, like, normalized in people's living rooms she was for a while. She was all over, like, the morning women mom show, reality show stuff in the morning. So here's what I know you guys all remember this, but here's what she had to say about Epstein.
I've had the story for 3 years. I've had this interview with Virginia Roberts. We would not put it on the air.
Yeah, exactly, Chris. They're shitty, but a clock is right twice a day. So, and this was kind of what they did with this. I was like, damn. All right.
First of all, I was told, who's Jeffrey Epstein? No one knows who that is. This is a stupid story.
Just kidding. The cellmate came back.
Then the palace found out that we had her whole allegations about Prince Andrew and threatened us a million different ways. We were so afraid we wouldn't be able to interview Kate and Will that also quashed the story. And then Alan Dershowitz was also implicated in it because of the planes. She told me everything. She had pictures. She had everything. She was in hiding for 12 years. We convinced her to come out. We convinced her to talk to us. It was unbelievable what we had. Clinton. We had everything. I tried for 3 years to get it on, to no avail, and now it's all coming out, and it's like these new revelations, and I freaking had all of it. I'm so pissed right now. Like, every day I get more and more pissed because I'm just like, oh my God, it was what we had was unreal. Other women backing it up. Hey, yep. Brad Edwards, the attorney, 3 years ago, saying there will come a day when we will realize Jeffrey Epstein was the most prolific pedophile this country has ever known. And I had it all 3 years ago.
Right, exactly. Access journalism is exactly what that is. She had it. It just goes to show more stuff of people hiding things. And that's why a lot of people like Chris, and, sometimes even I believe it too, that he's still alive, there's so much secrecy behind all of it. I don't even understand how there couldn't even be the theory of him being alive out there as well. Cause yeah, it's just, there's the proof. Yeah, exactly. Wow, Amy. She had this 3 years ago. The cops, turned a blind eye. The prison inmate left. This, what's his dude's name? Freaking Dershowitz, saying that he didn't, but he did. And it's just, there's so many questionable statements out there. And like Chris says, a lack of investigation just goes to show that, anything could be possible. Anything could be possible. So. Right. It's why these pervs get away with it. Yeah. And that's what sucks too. Cause like I was saying earlier, you know, with the whole Trump thing being arrested and the laws statute of limitations, you know, if it's been a certain amount of time, if a grown man does something to a little girl and then she grows up and wants to do something about it because it's wrecked her entire life and now she's a grown up trying to heal and wants justice, statute of limitations says, sorry, too bad, you should have done it then. Like, are you serious? This is the reason why these people keep getting away with it. And then once they do get busted, they only do a short amount of time. I knew a couple of people that their kids were, you know, wrongly done by grownups, and the grownups would do like a week stint in jail, and then he would get out, and they'd have to worry about, you know, if that guy was going to come back for him again. So yeah, shit fucking happens, man, and it's such bullshit. This country is just going to hell in a handbasket. Who's gonna get more eyeballs? Who's going to get more eyeballs, Will and Kate, or a credible stack of evidence of implicating powerful people in a pedophile ring? That's why they haven't released anything. That's why they haven't released shit. And then now that, you know, what's her name is in prison, his little side piece hustler bitch recruiter, Ghislaine Maxwell. Now that she's in prison, nobody wants to talk about anything. They're like, oh, we got the bad girl who helped him, so it's all over and done with now. Justice has been served. Done. It's what it is. It was a bad business decision. No reason for Epstein to snitch back then. Look at Maxwell's case. Names were mentioned. Those people aren't facing any charges. Yeah. Well, I mean, look at what is it? Bill Cosby. Look at what he did. He did it a lot, and really bad. And he was in Hollywood. People thought of him as like a family dad. And then they sent him to prison, and then they released him. Like shortly afterwards because of his deteriorating health. Motherfucker, people die in jail, like of old age, for doing less than what you did, Mr. Cosby. Like, justice system, no fun. We witnessed a prisoner extraction at MDC. Sorry for blowing up the chat. I'm finally off from work during the day and have time. Absolutely. Eat it up. I'm loving it. This is fun stuff for me. So, plus I was worried I didn't have enough to talk about. So you guys are keeping it going and I'm totally good with that. So, you missed people too. I bet you did, Shake and Bacon. We haven't seen you in forever. You lurk. Yeah, Brandy is a lurker. Jello. High P stuff. All right. Should we check out the Trump thing again? See if Trump is going to be... Oh, they're on a commercial break. Oh, wait. Are they on a commercial break? Remember I was telling you guys yesterday I don't see commercials? This is what I get to watch. But that's not live, though. We need live. Oh.
And Mindy, we know your mom is always with you in your spirit. We know that. Over 50
Why is he
years
talking?
ago.
Hey, that's Mindy Kaling from The Office. Right there.
Billie Holiday Theater opened in Brooklyn.
National Humanities Medal. Okay. I follow Mindy on Instagram. That's interesting.
Black writers and actors from Samuel L. Jackson to Debbie Allen to Smokey Robinson debuted there in New York at this theater. Today, Billy still stages first-rate theater productions.
Yeah, I
nurturing
still
a new
don't
generation
see
of
Trump
white
being
playwrights and performers
arrested.
as a culture of the cornerstone of our nation.
I'm not going to sit here and watch him tout and fluff up another celebrity when they literally just did that yesterday. Literally just did that yesterday. That's so gross. Okay, so what else do I got? Norfolk Southern was shamed by lawmakers. It's a Pennsylvania lawmaker. So Status Quo is well, not actual Jordan Sheridan himself, but a guy from Status Quo. I obviously, as you guys know, Status Quo is kind of the only people that are really going out there over to East Palestine and actually doing something about journalism out there. So there's this kid, I don't know who this kid's name is, but he works for Status Quo and he's out there doing interviews. And just recently, let's see, Alan Shaw, who's Norfolk Southern CEO, was grilled by a Pennsylvania lawmaker during a hearing on March 20th, 2023. So we're going to skip through and watch the little tidbits that he's posted up and then maybe hear him a little bit. Lewis is his name? Okay, thank you. I've never heard of him or seen him before. I just saw the Norfolk Southern and I was like, oh, okay, this is cool. That show got crucified. Yeah, exactly. Talk about a unifying moment. Everybody getting screwed over right now. Jesus Christ, right? I know. We've got like, journalism being, completely ignored by the White House. We got Epstein might be alive and Dershowitz lying to independent journalism. We got Shake and Bacon out there creating chat GPT stuff with Biden's with Biden's voice. Dude, this literally this entire country is going down to hell. All right, so let's see what this guy says.
Alan Shaw squirm a little bit during. We also had him not being able to provide specifics on basically anything. Without further ado, though, let's get into some of these clips and actually break down everything that happened in this hearing.
And so the decision made by Unified Command under the direction of the incident commander was a controlled vent and burn.
If I could just clarify something here. So I joined the Army in the 80s. I'm an old soldier. And in that environment, we were all trained in nuclear, biological, chemical warfare. And any chemical release was never called controlled by any of us, because there's atmospherics, of course, that weigh in and determine or direct the course these winds will blow, or the moisture air might take it. We don't control atmospheric dispersion. We could guess at it. So I can't accept any idea that any of this was controlled. Once something is set loose, it's up to the elements. But Senator Muth has a brief question.
Yeah, since you're on this line of questioning, I just need you to clarify, Mr. Shaw. You said that the incident command person was the local fire chief, correct?
The incident commander, which led Unified Command, is the local Fire Chief Drabeck. Yes, ma'am.
So the local fire chief led the entire operation on the ground, including the decision of the burn.
Senator, there were state, federal, and local authorities there as well, and he was in close contact with the governor of Ohio.
So first off, there we have Senator Mastriano pointing out, number one, that nothing about this was a controlled vent and burn, relating it to some of his history in the military. But also, I mean, you go talk to any resident, you go look at some of the drone footage that was actually exclusively provided to Status Coup by resident Corey.
Yeah, I don't understand how these guys think that there's this burning of this stuff was controlled. I'm sorry, but unless you control the entire atmosphere and where the wind blows, which, I know some of you guys up in the comment section are going to be like DARPA or HARP. So I understand that part, but I was just saying, in that situation, just, regular sky air, you burn something in the air, you can't control where it goes unless you've got like this machine that's like, really working on just that one specific area to suck. Where are you going to put it? Do you just keep it in the air? It just doesn't seem right to me with airflow. You can't control burns. That's why people, like the guy even said himself, military operations. I think the wind just opened my front door. It's so bad out there. But you can't control it. You can't control a burn. Babe, I think the door is opening. Is that the door? Oh shit, the wind is so bad that it opened my door. That is crazy. Dude, the wind out here is nuts. Anyway, sorry about that. So yeah, exactly. Like I was saying, in the military, when people would burn things back in the day, a lot of people actually got a lot of lung problems and sicknesses and long-term effects and cancers because of being accidentally downwind from some kind of smoke. You can't control it. I'm sorry, but them calling it a control burn is just absolute lies. Even the dogs call Bush bullshit, right?
You look at any of this, nothing about this situation was controlled. Nothing about the situation was controlled. And then you get into the beginning here of the blame game starting to begin, with fingers starting to be pointed towards the fire chief. that is about to get a whole
Interesting, Warren. I didn't know that. They said that it would explode on its own at a random time. So they decided, yeah, right. No, okay, sorry, I did know that. So they decided to control the time of the explosion. And that's probably why they call it a control burn. So that way it didn't explode and throw shrapnel on people, like I think they're going to say in a little bit. But still, you can't say that that was a control burn because you still cannot control all the stuff that's going on in the air and in the atmosphere around the people that are in the evacuation zones and even further on beyond that, that like, okay, so that happened over a month ago. Where's all that air now? Is it down in the ground? Is it in the soil now? Where did it all land? You can't control all of that. Chemicals in the air, water, soil. Yeah, you feel awful for East Palestine. Yeah, it's brutal.
A lot worse in a second here. Let's go ahead and play that next clip.
Then the decision was made to do a vent and burn. There was,
And once again, who was that decision made by?
By Unified Command, sir.
Who specifically in Unified Command said this is what we're going to do? You're blaming it on a chief in East Palestine at this point. Is that correct?
Senator, the Unified Command was under the leadership of the incident commander, who was in close coordination with Governor DeWine.
So your cars are on fire. It's your rail. It's your incident. And you're going to leave it to a local fire chief who probably never had to deal with potentially such a catastrophe before. And he's going to make the decision.
Senator, the Unified Command, pardon me, was taking.
Show the Thundercats lady again. I was trying to figure out, I didn't want to be mean to her, but yeah, I noticed, I was like, damn, she really got like up and dressed that morning. Like she was ready to go partying afterwards.
Input from a number of different.
She's coming back, don't worry.
Oh, he was taking input from a number of different constituencies. One big issue that happens throughout this hearing is on several occasions, both of these senators and others ask Alan Shaw, who were these other people in the room? And he basically was like, oh, we can provide this data to you at a later date. I don't know exactly who was there. It was a mix of state and local officials. This hearing is taking place in Pennsylvania. And at the time, it sure seems like no one from Pennsylvania was present or barely present. There might have been a phone call going back and forth. But again, this derailment happened a couple hundred feet from the state line of Pennsylvania. So it's great that Ohio, representatives may have been involved in some of the decisions here, but it really seems like Pennsylvania was not really a major part of some of the decision making here. And you'll hear that a lot of the questions kind of get framed in this way. And then, man, again, Mastriano asks, says specifically, like, you're really going to blame this on a small town fire chief who very likely doesn't have the sort of experience to deal with this sort of thing? That's not knocking the fire chief. That's just saying any small town fire chief is not going to have the training on these sorts of chemicals, these potential for explosions sending shrapnel across their towns. That's just not how these sorts of things should be working. You should be having an expert in this sort of thing calling the shots, being the incident commander, rather than leaving this at the local level to be decided. And the fact that Shaw is trying to place blame on this small town fire chief, again, most of the fire departments, volunteers. You're going to lay the blame on these volunteers, essentially, who can.
That's what capitalists do. That's what corporate CEOs do. That's what America economy does. You blame it on the little person and screw the little man over. That's why there's that saying, like when people win awards and you ever hear like somebody is like, oh, not actually anybody that's won an award, but like people are like, their little pretend awards or something for an achievement. And they're like, I like to thank all the little people I had to step on to get here. That's what that saying is. You literally are just throwing anyone under the bus. If you get in trouble, it's the little man's fault instead of your fault. Like, you're the one that had the fucked up train. You're the one that had, brought on deregulations on your railroads. This is your fault. This is your fault. This is not the fire department's fault. This is not the governor's. I mean, technically it could be the governor's fault as well too, but technically this is, I'm pretty sure it probably is the governor's fault because he's probably paid off by Norfolk Southern as well, get some campaign donations from him so that way they can keep deregulating the railroad. But still, majority of the fault is the CEO of Norfolk Southern. And I just hate when they sit there and they're like, well, this is the blame of this person. This is the blame of this person. Drives me nuts.
Came in to try to help. And
let's see if we can find there's another clip it.
Not a fan of Doug Mastriano's politics at all, but he and Senator Muth here have done a very good job. and are going to continue to do a good job. I'm going to show you a couple more clips here of, really showing what Alan Shaw is trying to do here.
Senator, I think it's important to note that the vent and burn worked.
It worked? Is that what you said? Sorry, I just didn't hear
Yes. Yes. The air testing throughout the process.
She reminds me of myself in the early 2000s when I was learning how to put on makeup. That's what it is. I feel bad for her. She's beautiful.
Indicated by the EPA,
Oh, that's a good one, Warren. Not fault Southern.
by the Ohio EPA, and by the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection, notes that the air is clean. Water testing notes that the water is safe.
The air has been tested and it's clean, and the water has been tested and it's safe. But who are the people that tested those? Because are they, contractor companies that were bought off by you to do the testing, or are they independent contractors or independent people that are doing the testing on those? Because I'm pretty sure if you've paid for those people to test those waters, they're going to give the answers that you want them to give.
We avoided the potential for a catastrophic, uncontrolled explosion that would have potentially shot harmful gas and shrapnel throughout the community.
So the bulk of the testing that I'm aware of occurred after the burn. So was there any in real-time testing of any human lungs or air quality in any of these people's houses, some of which were told to shelter in place while they watched a giant orange eruption above their home? Was there air testing done during the burn while these people were sitting inside of their homes?
Yes, Senator. Air testing was in place shortly after the derailment, and air testing indicates that the air quality was safe throughout the community during the vent and burn, before, during, and after.
So there's data that shows post derailment but pre-burn air quality. I'm guessing, right? So there should be levels before the burn. Then there should be data that's during the burn and after. Does that data exist somewhere?
Senator, yes, that's my understanding. And the data shows that in the community, outside of the evacuation zone, the air was safe.
So they didn't see, so these people, the committee did not get any form of research of the air quality before, during, and after. She said, is it there anywhere? So that means they haven't seen it. And then he's like, yes, and it's all clean. Who is it paid for by though? So we're just supposed to listen to what you say and then just be like, oh, okay, Alan Shaw said that this is what's happening. So we're going to agree and believe what he says. Absolutely the fuck not. We are. Oh my God. This guy just thinks that his word is golden, and it's not. And I'm sorry, but these people in the committee, even if they do get some kind of report on how the air quality was during, before, and after, I'm pretty sure it's going to be by a company that has been paid off by Alan Shaw or Norfolk Southern. So I hate this stuff like that. You're a goddamn liar, dude.
We as a committee have none of that data, so it's very difficult for us. I mean, I would say that to anyone. It's no personal offense to you. It just, in the absence of having reports and numbers and data, it's really difficult, especially based on symptoms reported by those who live in that community, that, if people had rashes and can't breathe and are having respiratory distress, I would argue that, and if you weren't real-time monitoring in their homes or around their homes during this burn, I don't know how anyone can say that it worked or that no harm was done. Because if you're burning off things during that burn, you could argue the highest contaminant level would be during the burn.
Senator, I'm very sorry for the impact that this has had on the community. I mean, I do understand.
You hear that? She talks about how the people are complaining and that you couldn't even imagine, or you couldn't sit there and give research and charts showing how it was unless you were actually there. You're not really there understanding what's happening with the people. And what does he have to say about it? I'm sorry. I'm sorry. That is the easiest fucking get out point I've ever heard in my life. You're just trying to get yourself out of getting in trouble, fool. My fucking teenager kid is better at getting themselves out of trouble than this fool is. I'm sorry, but not sorry. Sorry doesn't cut it after a while, dude. So
that some of the
Katie Muth is a tigress. Oh God, now we got Warren simping on somebody. All right, we're gonna make some Katie Muth stuff for Warren. That's it. I know, right? Les Bones is gonna have another lady to creep on. That's that. Oh well, not if Warren gets a hold of her first. Looks like there might be a battle.
Citizens have developed symptoms with which they're not comfortable or
It's okay, guys. Alan Shaw is sorry. I hope you all accept his apology and we can all just move on.
Like I said,
he's sorry. He's sorry that his train.
Remember that when he says he's sorry? It reminds me of that little scene in The Craft, the 90s movie The Craft, where the crazy witch girl was like, he's sorry. That's what it reminds me of. Makes me want to fucking lose my shit on him and just be like, you're sorry. I'll show you what sorry is.
Exploded in this small town and was set on fire. He's sorry that, you know, all of these people are having all sorts of health implications. He's sorry that down the line, a lot of these people very well could end up with cancers and all sorts of other things, given the fact that these were carcinogens on the train, as well as carcinogens that are created when this stuff was set on fire. But Alan Shaw is sorry, everybody. So we can all just pack up our bags, move on. I don't need to cover this story anymore. Ridiculous. I mean, he's saying
I'm over here talking about some serious stuff about East Palestine and Norfolk Southern, and you guys are over here talking about some chicks. So okay, Les Bones isn't gonna fight. You want to see your future, your the girl that we're talking about, Les Bones? Warren's got a crush on her. Here we go. This is her.
Having reports and numbers and data, it's really difficult, especially based on symptoms reported by those who live in that community. That
this is Warren's new.
You know, if people had rashes and can't breathe and are having respiratory distress, I would argue that, and if
it's already a level of concern. It's already a level of concern. We're going to continue on with the hearing here.
And so is the Family Assistance Center set up to ease community anxiety? Because if you're saying there's nothing wrong, there was no contamination or harm done, that was actually, you led me into my next question, was even the health compensation fund, why is it necessary if no one was poisoned?
Senator, the Family Assistance Center was set up within 24 hours of the derailment to help folks with recovery assistance, to help folks who were impacted by it, whether that's they needed to evacuate and they had expenses associated with that. It was also to help folks who may have just had inconvenience or been impacted. And it was also designed to provide folks with information. The testing by the air and the water is done by trusted government agencies, the EPA and the Ohio EPA and the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection.
First off, that's not entirely.
Other than reading your guys' comments, what I got from that is that so there's like a health center out there for people who are in like need of help that are, you know, dealing with shit. They're suffering from stuff, you know, breathing, the rashes that they're saying they're getting, the throat problems and stuff. And so this woman was your guys' Chitara. She looks like a bewitched mother. She's not bad looking. I just want to help her out with her eyeshadow and kind of like smooth out the colors, because, you know, like it goes from like the gray to the black to the white, and it's just very solid. It reminds me of the mid 2000s when a lot of us were just kind of beginning to learn how to do brat doll makeup. That's what it reminds me of. So she's gorgeous. Don't you guys go for it. Hit on it. I'm totally cool with that. I just want to help her out with her makeup. Just her eyeshadow, just a little bit. Just kind of smooth out those lines and kind of make them ombre fade into each other. That's my only thing I didn't like about her. Mumra. Oh God. So yeah, so what she was saying, sorry, I'm getting all distracted now. Jesus Christ, you guys, is that why are there health centers there to help people out if nobody actually needs help? And he was saying, the Norfolk Southern guy was saying that the health centers are there to help people who are dealing with stress, you know, like mental stuff, like dealing with the stress of having to deal with it. And it's not goddamn true at all.
true, especially in the very beginning. The vast majority of the testing done was by contractors that were literally hired out by the railroad. This company CTEH that you've heard us talk quite a bit about. CTEH has a troubling history, to say the least. They're oftentimes hired by big corporations like
Norfolk. Socialist, you wanted your first cat to be named Chitara. That's so cool. I'm going to start a GoFundMe and we're going to get you a little stuffed animal kitty cat. We're going to send it to Africa where you are. And we're going to call it Chitara. That way you've got your own Chitara kitty cat, because that is really cute and I love it.
Norfolk Southern, after they make a big mess, to come in and give the appearance that everything is fine, to run tests for things that they know that they're not going to find, and tell people, look, everything's fine. We're getting these, they're doing these very broad tests and we're not finding anything, trying to put people's minds at ease. But Senator Muth there asked the question very pointedly, if everything's fine, why is the assistance center set up to, hopefully pay for these people's medical bills? First off, I actually haven't heard from a resident who has had their medical bills paid for by Norfolk Southern. I've heard in some cases Norfolk Southern asking, oh, do you have insurance for people who ended up in the hospital? But I have not spoken with a resident who has been reimbursed for healthcare bills as a result of this to date. That does not mean that it doesn't exist, but I've talked to a hell of a lot of people in East Palestine.
I agree. And I think it should even go further. Like there should be scientists and air quality testers, ground quality testers, home quality testers for at least the next couple of years in that area and around. I just do it for like all the states around. Just make sure that it's all safe everywhere. They should be doing more than what they're doing. I mean, at the beginning, I think they were only willing to give like each person $5 each in the county or in the town of East Palestine. So yeah, they should do a lot. And it's not just checking for air quality too. Like they need to clean these fucking houses, like clean inside, outside, walls, carpet, change carpet up. Don't even use that carpet anymore. Get rid of that carpet, all of it, like ground testing of everybody's yards, for the next year or two. So is that lady married? Jesus
Palestine
Christ.
at that point, and I think they would have told
When
me.
you go to the region or when you go to the doctor in the region, the bill should automatically go to them. Absolutely should. Yeah. Like this guy was saying, but they're saying you got insurance to be able to be covered. So if she gets her own YouTube, you're going to be the first to sub.
That was the case. And I've asked about these sorts of things before. So I am not convinced that healthcare bills have been paid for or will be paid for in the future here. And then we've got one more clip we're going to play here that also really hits the point home about, Shaw is trying to say, these are trusted agencies who are performing a lot of the tests going here. They're very trusted agencies. You all should just believe everything that they're saying to you. Let's go ahead and hear what Senator Muth had to say about that.
So the long-term water testing, how long is that? What is long-term in Norfolk Southern's operational definition? And then also the health compensation fund, what does that cover and who's eligible and what does that entail?
Senator, I'll note that it's also the EPA and Ohio EPA and the Pennsylvania DEP who are doing the testing as well.
Unfortunately, all three of them have lied.
But see, Steve, that's the problem. And I think it was earlier in the video that a lot of these people that are out there, like that are working for the fire department and stuff, or a lot of them are volunteers. So, I mean, that's who Alan, whatever his name is, Alan Shaw is blaming a lot of this stuff on, is like the fire department head and stuff. And a lot of them are volunteers. So, it is cheaper to do that, but they're getting the blame for it. So.
Lied about water testing before. So, but go ahead. Not my opinion, unfortunately, just the reality of historical government failure.
Whew, that was, again, you've heard this from me
monitoring.
before. You've
Okay.
definitely heard this from Jordan before. Unfortunately, a lot of these agencies.
Yeah, I mean, even if you get like some college students that are already, training to do that kind of stuff, chemistry and things like that, you get them to go out there and intern for a while to test the air. Yeah, air quality, ground quality, do all the testing and stuff. I'm pretty sure that there's kids out there that would love to do it. That's going to suck though, because then you're putting them in the dangerous situation, because it's kind of like a Chernobyl out there, but not like, as serious. But if you think of it like that, you wouldn't want to put your kids into it. But I mean, with the proper stuff, I mean, I'm pretty sure people shouldn't even live there. They should be rehoming these motherfuckers, put them in somewhere else, give them a new home somewhere else until all of this is cleared off. This is like a Chernobyl. I'm sorry. You guys fucked up with your controlled burn. You done fucked up. Now you made an entire town not livable. Kind of like the Silent Hill movie. Y'all fucked up. Now you got to deal with it.
Agencies have a track record of things going wrong, and it's not speculation.
Exactly. This is chemical shit. You don't want to put your kids out there. You're like, you know, yeah, that I think that would be great to have these kids that are willing to do it. But yeah, you're right. Like, if I could imagine my own kid out there, I wouldn't want my own kid to do that, you know? So yeah, maybe a little bit of both. It's kind of hard to, right. It's kind of hard. Yeah, exactly. I think that's the best outcome, is completely just relocating them, get them out of there. It's too much of a Chernobyl experience right now that even sending somebody in there while people are living there, if you don't want to send people in there to test the quality because you're afraid of what's going to happen to your own family member who's going out there to test, then you just need to get the people out completely. Yeah, absolutely. Rehome them, all of it. Sorry, no, Norfolk. You can take 1 year's profit off and deal with what you know, pay for already what you have. You don't need to buy new things for a year. You can handle it. Austerity is real. We deal with it every day, us regular people. You could do it yourself and make sure that these people are well taken care of because you fucked up.
Says it's fact. And with all of this going on, and with the coverage of East Palestine unfortunately wavering away by most media outlets, us not included, fortunately, but you know, the media is mostly out of town, and there are now reports kind of going out that they're trying to make East Palestine and the symptoms and some of the stuff that's being described as Russian misinformation now. There was just an article from the AP that came out yesterday, essentially trying to tie a lot of the people kind of questioning some of these things to Russian misinformation. I'm sorry, but East Palestine is still messed up. Yep. Russian misinformation is.
It's even worse than that. Like, if you guys, so that's the end of that video, but I was looking through that, like, Russian misinformation, what? But look at this. So I looked it up this morning, Associated Press, East Palestine, Russian misinformation. Not only is the AP News talking about this, but look, Forbes, pro-Russia Twitter trolls stoked fears about Ohio derailment. Los Angeles Times, pro-Russia tweets fuel lies about Ohio train disaster. Daily Beast, pro-Russia accounts use Twitter Blue to push Ohio trains. Now here's the AP thing with what they wrote. So they're trying to say that it's Russia people, pro-Russia people are the ones that are talking about how seriously bad this is. Like, let's blame it on, you know, Putin and Russia when things aren't going our way and we're looking bad. Let's blame it on, you know, Russian spies. So yeah, what horse droppings? Yeah, exactly. Pro-Moscow voices tried to steer Ohio train disaster debate. This was released 3 days ago. Okay, so this wasn't even that long ago. Now this is what they're starting to put out into the news. Soon after a train derailed and spilled toxic chemicals, anonymous pro-Russian accounts started spreading misleading claims and anti-American propaganda about it on Twitter. Using must new verification system. Come on. The accounts, which parroted Kremlin talking points on myriad topics. There's some jargon malarkey for you guys. They parroted Kremlin talking points on myriad topics. Okay, because that's, I guess, Kremlin have certain talking points. Claimed that without evidence that authorities in Ohio were lying about the true impact of the chemical spill. We just watched from the guy over at the other place. Come on, AP, don't do that to me. Over at the Status Quo News of what's really going on. People that are actually there, you know, with the people that are living there, not just after what happened with me with the snowstorm and stuff, and seeing what the news put out compared to what we were living here. I'm never going to believe the news on any kind of disaster again. It's ridiculous and stupid. So yeah, of course I'm going to believe what the people on Twitter and people that are living through it are going to say more than I'm going to believe, you know, Norfolk Southern. So the account spread fear-mongering posts that preyed on legitimate concerns about pollution and health effects. Those are legitimate concerns, and compare the response to the derailment with America's support for Ukraine following its invasion by Russia. Well, maybe we're just adding on top of it the fact that not only I'm sorry, but I know that, like, if I was more boisterous on Twitter, because it was already in my head of what we're not doing for our own places like East Palestine, Ohio, and then the fact that we're giving a bunch of money to Ukraine for no reason, like billions of dollars, while we're out here suffering with nothing. Like, we didn't even, we're here in California for the snowstorm. We're not even getting any government financial help or anything like that. We're not getting anything. And we were all out of work for 2 weeks, stuck in our homes and couldn't even move. But Ukraine gets billions and billions and billions of dollars. Now, does that make me a Russian spy? I mean, or is my account going to start getting blocked and stuff? And is AP News going to start writing a report about me because I think the same thing as these people on Twitter? Like, I just hate the fact that they automatically assume that people who have differences of opinions are Russian spies. It's the stupidest, like, what is it, straw manning that I've ever seen in my life. It's pathetic. Let's continue reading. Some of the claims that was pushed by these accounts were verifiably false, is what she says, such as suggestions that the news media had covered up the disaster, which they didn't really cover it that much. They've already stopped covering it because it's not important news anymore. And I haven't even seen any media except for the one status coup video that we just watched on the committee meeting with the Alan, whatever his name is, of Norfolk Southern. Everybody in the news right now is live streaming, waiting for Trump to get arrested. So this completely gets neglected and not even talked about. So how are you going to say that the news media covers up this disaster is verifiably false when that's kind of what they're doing? I mean, covering up and omitting are kind of just the same thing. It's just one has a more vindictive intention than the other. I mean, they both have vindictive intentions possibly, but one is maybe a little bit more vindictive than the other. But still, that's not verifiably false that the news media is covering up the disasters because they're not talking about it. They're omitting it. It's the same goddamn thing. All right. Or that environmental scientists traveling to the site had been killed in a plane crash. I hadn't heard about that. That's very interesting. But I hear that the environmental scientists that are at the site are paid off by and are owned by Norfolk Southern. So they're only going to give them their approved research opinions. So anyways, right. So many lies of omission. Exactly. Trump's emptying podium again. Yeah, exactly. That's all they're doing. What's up, Signs? It's been a while. Good to see you. You've been super busy? Good. I hope it's good busy. I hope it's good busy. Gotta roll. All right, Ed. Thank you for stopping by. Let me know if you guys are doing a show today or something, and I'll come in and hang out in the comments section. Unfortunately, this is anti-Russian propaganda. This anti-Russian propaganda is effective with 30 to 40% of voters. Unfortunately, yeah, just like the anti-Iraq and Iran propaganda worked in the 2000s with the Republicans. So, it's kind of interesting. I was just reading this morning, too, that Nancy Pelosi was against the Iraq war, but is in total full okay with this war. So it's just the other side is doing a war. As long as one side does a war, the other side can pretend like they're against the war, as long as they keep making the money. So, yeah. Trump is a diversion from East Palestine. Trump is a diversion from everything. He's the best diversion. That's why they keep bringing him up, is because they keep making them money. He keeps making them money, and he's a great diversion, a distraction from the rest of us people of what's really going on. As long as we continue to watch how bad Trump is, and let's wait till he gets on the podium to see what he has to say today, then we don't need to be paying attention to what's actually happening out in our country, like East Palestine. And then they can go around saying that what people are saying on Twitter are Russian spies. So, it just continually goes and goes and goes. Ed will be on Chicago Corner at 8:30 Eastern. Okay, you guys go over to Chicago Corner, give them a follow. They're going to be on tonight. Ed in the comment section is one of the co-hosts with Jerry Vasalatos. I'm actually hopefully going to be meeting up with Jerry soon in person. He's going to be coming out here to be filming a movie and wants to meet up with and have some drinks and some dinner and stuff. So I might be meeting up with him in person soon, which will be awesome. So yeah, 5:30 Pacific, 8:30 Eastern. Go check out Chicago Corner. You get all the information and news about Chicago. I know they just had a whole not too long ago, a couple weeks ago, had their elections, mayoral elections, and Lightfoot did not make it. So Lori Lightfoot is no longer the mayor of Chicago. So it's really cool to have a show about Chirac, Chicago, because of, how important and unique that place is. Even, people have made movies about it, the Chirac movie. So it's really cool to have people who live there, who know about the politics that's going on there and the suffrage of the people, to be able to talk about it on a show. I absolutely love that about them. Recall less Munez on Trump, bad for America, great for ratings. Yeah, exactly. So, all right. So most were Why would you do that to me? There we go. But most were speculative, seemingly designed to stoke fear or distrust. Examples include unverified maps showing widespread pollution, predicting an increase in fatal cancers, and others about unconfirmed mass animal die-offs. Mass unconfirmed. We saw it. We saw that shit. We saw the videos. We saw the fish in the water. We saw the foxes. We saw the deer. We saw that. And I'm sorry, but fatal cancers, that's what happens when you burn those kind of literally the chemical that was in that container that got out, when it catches on fire and it goes into smoke, it attaches itself to clouds, it could turn into acid rain. How is that not cancer causing? It doesn't. The unverified stuff, like, come on. Biden offers food, water, medicine, shelter, payouts of pension, of social services to Ukraine. Ohio first offer and deliver to Ohio, posted one of the pro-Moscow accounts. Jesus Christ, man. This one reporting is just so full of bullshit jargon. It just drives me insane. They're like little buzzwords to get people all like, get their stomachs turning and the butterflies in their tummies going, like, pro-Moscow accounts. Fuck you, bro. Are you serious right now? It boasts 25,000 followers and features an anonymous location and a profile photo of a dog. So maybe they like their dog. Twitter awarded the account a blue check mark in January. Oh, well, why do you have to attack this one person? Like, AP is literally attacking this one person on Twitter who's got 25,000 followers. Meanwhile, over here, Mr. fucking Norfolk Southern gets to literally get off scot-free with harming and possibly murdering people, already murdering animals, water, air pollution, all of that. But, it's this one person on Twitter's fault. It's the Russiagate shit all over again. I swear to God. Regularly spewing anti-US propaganda. Oh, okay. So if you're against the USA, then it's anti-US propaganda. It's propaganda, but pro-US propaganda doesn't exist. That's not even a thing, I guess, Their hatred of Trump will only fuel ratings more. And that's what they're doing with these like little buzzwords, man. It's ugh. Yeah, exactly. We have to say we're Ukrainian. Yeah. Like I was saying during my whole snowstorm, like, do I have to put a yellow and blue flag on my fucking profile pictures to get Biden to come and help us out here? Because it feels like it's the only goddamn way. Swear to God. The accounts were identified by Reset, a London-based nonprofit that studies social media impacts. With no one at home in Twitter's product safety department, Russia will continue to meddle in the U.S. elections and in democracies around the world. Like, we have not meddled in elections across the country. What did we do to Gaddafi? What did we do to Saddam Hussein? We literally just celebrated the 20-year anniversary of Saddam Hussein and the Iraq War. You really don't think that we are not meddling in other people's elections, but we sit here and say Russia's meddling in our elections. Russia's meddling in our elections. If we actually had legitimate elections, then maybe we wouldn't have to worry about other countries meddling in our elections. Everybody gets a fucking vote. No more delegates, no more super delegates, popular votes only. Like, I don't understand what the problem is. It's like they completely ignore the problem and just start punishing other people that have nothing to do with it, or just the little guys, instead of acknowledging and admitting that they have a problem. I'm the fucking problem. All right. I'm America. I'm the, democracy. I'm the economy. I'm the problem. And then try to fix it that way. But no, it's the blame game. It's everybody else. It's such a fucking narcissistic country. And it drives me absolutely insane how they use these words to make people feel like the narcissism that the media feels is okay for them to feel as well. Ugh. Ugh. Makes me want to throw up. This country's a fucking powder keg. Yeah, absolutely. Twitter didn't respond to messages seeking comment for this story. And then it just gets into, I believe, the actual story of what happened, and then about Twitter. Geared towards, look at this truth puke is connected to a website of the same name geared towards conservatives in the United States. Oh, well, don't be mad that conservatives are the only ones that are actually standing up for the right stuff right now when it comes to East Palestine, you fucking pieces of shit. I swear. I'm sorry, Chris. I'm sorry. Rant, breathe fire. That's what I feel like I'm doing right now. That shit just drives me crazy. I just don't understand how people can't see that. Like, I know you guys all do. I know you guys all can see the hypocrisy, seeing one thing and then not seeing the, and then them not seeing the other. But just for other people, how they just read this with an open mind as if they're truth, and then go out into the world and spew it out as if that's exactly what it is. It drives me absolutely insane. It's like trying to tell a kid not to do something over and over and over again. Just waiting for them to burn their finger on a goddamn stove because they fucking deserve it. Exactly. Get rid of the Electoral College. It's bullshit. Yeah, exactly. That's why everyone has to accept that not everyone can or will or even wants to be saved. They prefer being, Cypher from the Matrix. You're fine. I agree with you. Thank you. It's cathartic to hear other people. Yeah, exactly. It is. It really is. And there's not very many of us that are out here talking like this anymore. We used to have a really good little set of people, but they've definitely turned to shit livery as of late, which kind of sucks because, it's always going to be like that. We're always going to be the little guy. We're always going to be out there speaking the truth, never get anything actually done or heard about it. And that's why we all end up into this, what do we call it? The bubble is what they call it. So we always end up there because, where else do you expect us to do it? This is the kind of shit that we have to listen to and read every day and watch every day. Speaking of elites being in a bubble, and this guy right here, so Case Study QB talked about this or brought this up. He just put it up about 4 hours ago, and I thought this was real. They're all watching The View right now. I know, right? I'm at the same time that either The View is on or it's a repeat of, is Wendy Williams still on? Does she still do a show? It's probably like repeat of Wendy Williams right now. You're not going to be one of those. Good. So Case Study QB did a little video clip about elites in a bubble. This congressperson, politician guy was saying that nobody in America starves. And I thought he did a really good job. And I want to give a shout out. I had no idea that our buddy here, Johnny Axum, was in this as well. So good on him for getting up into this as well. This is kind of like one of the first time I've ever seen Case Study QB actually doing like a show where he's talking. I always thought he just made like little video compilation clips. So this is way, way cool to be able to hear him and the people that obviously are important to him because they're on his show speak. So it's really,
elites have no shame, but I don't know if that's being too nice to these guys. But let me play this first video.
Poverty. But is poverty even the same thing as it was when I was a kid? I feel like when I was poor, wow, I didn't have shit. I didn't have really 2 nickels to rub against each other. And now everybody seems to have a cell phone. Nobody starves in America. The problem is the opposite.
I don't. First of all, I do not think it's fair to say that everyone in America, all of our children, are getting enough to eat.
No,
And
that's probably true.
I don't think that's right. I don't think that's right.
But there are places they can always go to get food.
Yeah, but this is the argument that people
And they
make.
don't starve.
So they have a cell phone. How are you going to get a job today if you don't have a cell phone?
what's that guy's name again, you guys? I was trying to have you guys tell me yesterday and I already forgot his name. See, like he's such a shitlib. How is it he's going to go around saying that nobody in America is starving? No kids are actually starving because there's free food in America. So kids aren't starving. Like, fuck you, bro. Do you not understand that there are such thing as abusive families? And they're still going around right now. They're just like 2 kids that look exactly the same. 2 little boys out in my own hometown were just abused by their parents and died. Like, you can't sit here and tell me that every kid in America is doing 100% A-okay, dude. That's just your white privilege running around in your head thinking that everybody else is just like you. Sorry, we're not. Yeah, Bill Maher. Again, I keep forgetting his name. I fucking hate that guy.
cell phone.
I'm just asking the question. I mean, it just seems standards do change.
That's why, as we see here, this governor signed free school lunch bill into law.
Yep.
And in Minnesota.
Yep.
And Bill Maher's out.
Yep. This guy just recently, I think I just saw this on the news not too long ago. So yeah, in Minnesota, this is a bill that this guy put into law about giving kids free school lunches to all the kids in Minnesota. And it's just the video of these kids just hugging him and thanking him and all this stuff and just giving him a huge hug and shaking his hand and stuff. Like these are kids. Like, how are you going to sit there and tell me that kids are not starving in America when people are still out there making bills where kids get free lunches? That's proof right there that there's food shortages and food problems in America, and children are getting the brunt end of it. So you had to devise the data. Poverty in this country is real. Exactly. They just don't want to, admit to it. They just want to say, yeah, they leave us out of a lot of things. Absolutely do. When it comes to charts and stuff, they leave us out of a lot, or they omit it. Omitting seems to be really popular. So yeah, exactly. When you have money, you lose touch. Like if you ever had it at all, right? Exactly.
Out here saying, "Oh, nobody needs lunch anymore." Then he wouldn't.
Yeah, but then you got like, little like spoiled brats like Paris Hilton out there trying to get kids out of these like abusive schooling systems. That they're like these like wilderness schools and stuff. So you got like some people that are out there that understand, I guess, because she understands because she went through it. But yeah, you're right. It's the lack of empathy, I guess, in humans now.
Sign this into law if people were not hungry. And matter of fact, a lot of times when kids go to school, that's their only meal for the day. Whether it's
Yup. Exactly. I had free lunch as a kid growing up, like free breakfast and free lunch. I ate that shit because I knew that when I got home, I could not eat anything until dinner time because we didn't have enough food to just go and snack at any time I wanted throughout the day. So, yup, he's right. When us kids go to school and we eat breakfast and lunch there, that's usually sometimes our only meal. Sometimes there is no meal at home. Sometimes you just got to make some top ramen or something to be able to survive until the food stamp card comes in. So yeah, get it, Case.
It's breakfast or whether it is lunch.
I imagine Bill
Exactly,
sitting in a room with
exactly,
somebody
Chris.
that might be 15, 20 years older than him.
And I'm sorry, but I think if anything, if any kind of smarts is super important in this world right now, it's street smarts. Like you can be book smart, you can be intellectually smart, you can be college smart, you can be skill smart. I'm sorry, but street smart, it's the most important right now. And it's the only one where people are actually going to learn empathy and stuff. We should like just take all their money and make them all live on the streets just to see, like make a reality show where really rich, snobby, like, what do you call them? Like, Nepo babies and stuff. Just send them to a place where they got to do really hard, dirty work for a while and realize what it's like being poor. Give them a little bit of a taste of it.
Him having a conversation like this, and they say, well, back in my day, we didn't even have a good sewage system. We had to shit outside and wipe it with leaves. Like, that's exactly what he sounds like. Nothing actually infuriates me more than entitled people who have never been down the street and had knocked on the door of the people who are less fortunate and actually ask them a question. Instead, what they do is they drive by their home, stick their nose up and say, I don't know why they don't get a better paying job so they can get out of these bad circumstances. I mean, all I had was a small loan of $1 million and I made it. And it's the audacity when that lady said, that's actually not right. He said, oh, you're probably right. Then why the heck did you say it out of your mouth? Because unfortunately, people are bought into this idea that you're some intellectual superior because you get paid millions of dollars to spew nonsense. So when you say nonsense like that, had no one been there to catch it like that lady's mask was doing, then unfortunately that would have perpetuated and people would have been having conversations. Because if you look on the right, a lot of these people like Ben Shapiro, etc., they are pushing this propaganda as if poverty, it's like the same people who are saying birds aren't real are now saying poverty isn't real. And it's disgusting because you have so many children who literally are waking up traumatized and terrorized because they have to go to school in situations that aren't safe. They're getting crappy education because we don't fund our public schools. And now y'all have us want to take the one shining thing that, shout out to the Black Panther Party, that people were actually getting, which was free breakfast and maybe some free lunch. You literally want to starve kids and you have the audacity to say that you are the family of the working people. Be for real. You're not a family party. You're nothing. You're a fascist party. And unfortunately, that term can be applied to Democrats, Republicans, and everybody in between.
This is it's just Case Study QB's little clip that he put up 4 hours ago. I have no idea what show this is. Hold on, let me look in a new tab. Yeah, he's got his own Case Study QB has his own channel, it looks like. Live streamed 20 hours ago. So yeah, he streamed that 20 hours ago. Here, let me put the his actual thing in the comment section so you guys can go and check him out on it. He has his own YouTube channel, and it looks like he streams this stuff. Yeah.
Who would do something like this to children. That pisses me off. I'm sorry.
Woo! I love that fire, Dave. Where Elon Musk put the retirement age in France is too low. That's a legit issue.
No, the issue is his taxes are too low, and he has all time to be sitting on Twitter saying stupid stuff like this and buying a company. I'm sorry. I don't have much sympathy today for these bubble elitists who get on the internet and opine about how hard it is to be everybody else in the world. Meanwhile, you literally can wake up, piss, and make $5 million. Something that a total of an entire property where Johnny lives.
And that's a problem with these elites and stuff too, is that when they say that, Americans aren't starving, it is because they're in this little bubble. See, now when I've talked, not like I've talked to elites or anything, but when I've heard what they say, when asked about this kind of stuff, is they say that America is a first world country. So like they say, comparative to other countries, we're actually really rich. So kids aren't really starving because there's kids in Yemen or kids in other countries that are way worse off and that are starving. And sometimes those, when they say that kind of stuff, yes, they're absolutely right that, we need to humble ourselves and realize it, but that still doesn't make our own experience and our children's experiences any less than, and it doesn't make them not starve either, just because kids in another country are really starving. Like, everybody needs to be lifted all up at the same time, and I think that's, and it sucks when you hear that, because you have to humble yourself and be like, yeah, you're right, there are other kids that are way worse off than American kids, but still there are American kids that are suffering. And sorry, but some of them are our kids, some of us are, not saying me or anything, but if I was a poor person, I would say, well, that's not fair that my kid has to starve because a kid in another country is even worse off. It's that, it's kind of a selfish mentality if you think about how they think with that, because, somebody else is doing worse off than you. So be happy for what you have. It's stupid. It's kind of like the Medicare for all fight stuff, how certain people are, if Washington or California gets it, that's not fair. My state doesn't get it, so I don't want anyone to have it. It's that if I can't have it, no one can kind of attitude. So, like if you don't have it, or if you're worse off than me, then, I should be humbling about myself. So, or I should be okay or happy with what I have, so it reminds me of the Medicare for all thing. So it's gross. It's gross.
The sum total of all the income that those people make,
right? First world countries can have that, right?
Get them to what Elon Musk makes in a minute. And for a vanity project, he buys Twitter so he can get on there and say crap like that. So this is why people are leaving your company in drones, and why nobody takes you seriously. Tax these people and actually give them a reason to get offline and do something better in the world.
I need Q's bomb.
Yeah.
For Hot 97.
I'm sorry.
He makes it look so cool. I love it. And then you got over here Elon Musk going around saying retirement age in France is too low. That's a legit issue. Like, come on, dude. Like this one guy says, Di says right here, you make more money taking a shit in the morning than most people do their entire lives. So why don't you take a seat and sit the fuck down and stop telling people when they should stop being able to make with their money, and let people live their own fucking lives. Like, just because you made it, an electric car, which you stole the electric ideas from and named your company after a guy who actually invented the shit anyway, and you think that you're so much better than everybody else. No, all you are, same with Elon Musk, or same with Jeff Bezos, same with Zuckerberg, same with all of them. They're not innovators. They're not pioneers. They're not inventors. They don't invent this stuff. All they are like little sheepdog puppy dogs. They're really good at finding the right people to make the right calls, to get the right money that they need to be able to do what they want to do. I'm sorry, but Elon Musk didn't invent the flamethrower, but he's going around saying that he's got a flamethrower. You know, he didn't invent the electric car. It was already invented. He was just able to patent it and was able to make enough money for his investors to be able to profit off of this. That's all he is. That's all of them are. Zuckerberg, all of them. They just make really good phone calls to get the money that they need from really rich investors. Not pioneers, not innovators, not anything fucking special. So you need more money and troops for Vietnam. Jesus Christ. No, wait, we hate Musk now? Not enough invention or free stuff? I've never liked Elon Musk. I'm not like one of those Musk people. I never really liked him. I don't really like anybody that's rich that doesn't really do much of anything. He just seems like just some little rich boy from South Africa, which, you know, he's a white kid from South Africa, rich white kid from South Africa. That goes to show just right there, you know, genocide and apartheid and everything else that's going on in Africa as well. So him being a white kid from Africa, totally already not like that. Don't like that. Plus he's gotten, you know, like Trump said, you know, I got a small $1 million loan from my father. Like he got loans from his father. So he's always grew up rich. He's always going to be rich. He was introduced to the right people. Getting rich isn't it's very hard to get rich nowadays. Really hard to get rich from the bottom. Like, you know, started from the bottom. Now you're there. That's very, very rare for that to happen. And usually if it does, it's because of somebody you know. So, and it's just by happen chance. You go to a party or something with a friend and they just so happen to be at a party with somebody who's got really high up people, and then you network. It's all about networking. It's very hard to get into any kind of industry anywhere nowadays just by pure skill alone. It's who you know. And that's how it goes. Musk started with PayPal. Jesus Christ, idle hands. The government believes in UBI for places like Israel and now Ukraine. Yeah, exactly. Absolutely. I know that like in Alaska, if you move up there, you get like $1,000 a month just for living up there. But I believe that is also gentrifying the indigenous people out there to put more people there. So, you know, and it's also ruining the land, like with the Willow Project that's going out there right now. So, but yeah, UBI. While we don't get shit, you know, I don't really think UBI is really that good anyway. It's slightly inflationary in my eyes. I feel like there should be production that backs it up, like a labor, so that people feel like they worked for what they've achieved, instead of you don't really appreciate things more when you're given it, especially after a long period of time. You kind of expect it. So like adding the working aspects to the income, I really like that. But I also believe that we should be paid a lot more. Like basic minimum wage should already be at least $25 to $30 an hour nationally by now. So especially keeping up with like the cost of inflation and the cost of living, and, you know, the having to pay for everything, just doing anything. So you are, I know, I'm sorry, but you're not rich though. You're out there doing the good stuff. Like you're out there. Like you're an ally, and that's what makes you a lot different than that. You know, look, you're not anything like Elon Musk because you didn't get a buttload of money from your dad and then move to a first world country and start making your millions. You know, you with your videos like you post on Twitter all the time, you're out there every day in the suck, making sure that people are being taken care of, which is more than, you know, what we could even hope to even achieve, you know, because even like us, you know, white allies out here in America, we want to be able to be like, hey, we want to pay back for, you know, a lot of us want to be able to pay back for what our ancestors did, and want to be able to help out, you know, people that are worse off than us. But even getting to somewhere like Africa is practically impossible because we could never even afford to get to another country, let alone to another state. So I commend you, and I always look up to you for what you do out there. You're amazing. Keep socialist. So You're still good. You're out there doing what needs to be done and taking care of the people out there. Unlike Elon Musk, who just pretty much just made a buttload of money, took it out of his own home country, and is making other countries, first world countries, especially like Swiss banks and stuff, a lot of money, and none of that profit is going back to his home country at all whatsoever. So there's a huge difference, Cape Socials. Don't even worry. Don't even worry. Why are rents and food and energy so costly? War. Yes, that's right. You grew up Catholic. Okay, that's cool. Alaskan folks get a check. Shit, you gotta pay me not to see the sun for months. For real. I know. I was just saying that to Willie yesterday. I'm a summer baby. Yeah, there's no fucking way I would ever move to Alaska. Like, you ain't. Have you ever seen the movie, what is it? 30 Days of Night, where I guess in Alaska someplace you get like a whole month of just straight up darkness. But in that movie, because it's 30 days of night, vampires get to come in and just kill everybody off one by one in that whole town. And I was just like, ever since I saw that movie as a teenager, I'm like, yeah, no, there's no fucking way I'm ever going to Alaska and living there. Like 30 days of dark, like I'm gonna die from a vampire. Like, all right. I just experienced what life on the wild side is like just in the last 2 weeks of living in the snow. And I came to the terms of, if apocalypse happens, I'm going to keep a gun on me because I'm just gonna shoot myself. I'm not gonna make it. Just know that now. I am a spoiled rotten brat and I will not fucking make it. All right. Fuck. I like lost my shit over not having my own creamer. All right. It's bad. There's no way I'm going out to Alaska for 30 fucking days in the dark. Nope. Mm-mm. No thanks. Mm-mm. You're exactly nope. You came of age during the U.S. Great Inflation 1972 to 1982 when the bills for Vietnam and the Great Society became due. You came of age in 1972 to 1982. Nice. You'll be fine. Life is a struggle. I'm good. I got my creamer. All right. So I got to get off of here. It's now officially 1 o'clock and my kid wants to bug me. What's up, baby? Oh, you're going to go play video games? Okay. That is fine. So I already put Case Study QB's thing in the chat. So if you guys want to go check him out, he's going, I don't know when he's going to go back on, but I'm definitely going to watch him a lot more often because he's got some really good stuff in here. I really liked that Elise in a Bubble, Nobody Starves in America thing. And it's cool to see my buddy Johnny in there. So it's good to see he's out there doing stuff because we don't really hear from him very often. So let's see, what do I got? The show will be back on tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. Tomorrow, I'm going to have Scott Desnoyers on tomorrow. He's one of the Red Beret guys, the Washington thing. I think they're doing a rally soon in April, like the beginning of April of sometime. I think it's a rally for Scott. Like a remembrance of his son who passed away a few years ago. So we're going to be bringing him on tomorrow. We'll probably be talking about his son a little bit, talking about the event that's going to be happening, that's coming up soon. And then I think I'll probably just have him on for a little bit, and then we'll just go back to the news. He probably doesn't want to sit around and watch and do the news stuff with me all morning. So we'll be doing that. And then Friday, Sherry Wise is going to come back on. I've got like all my people on this week because I haven't been on for a couple of weeks. So I'm excited. But Sherry Wise is going to be on this Friday. So excited. I don't know what we're going to be talking about. Probably something economics as usual. And then Saturday, I've got my show with Warren. That's at 9 p.m. Pacific, midnight Eastern. For our secret show. I have no idea what we're going to be talking about. I do know that last week we played those epic battle simulators. It was like, what was it? It was what was the one we were watching that was really good? Chuck Norris versus like 100,000 Spartans and stuff like that. So I want to put more of those on. There's some really, really good ones. Maybe find some more really cool video game simulation stuff like that for the show to go along with the chickens thing. I was trying to find something that I could like to throw in there because, Warren always throws his like the really good stuff in there. You got like that superhero comic videos that he watches, and then the chickens and all of that. So I wanted to add my own little thing, and he showed me that, and I was like, yeah, that's perfect. So I might find a couple of ones that I've seen before that I thought were really interesting. So we'll see. It's always a fun show with Warren on Saturdays. Most areas of Alaska aren't really like that, but it's a bit less light in the winter, but way more in the summer. Yeah. Okay. And then Monday, I'm going to be on the Willie Bragg show. I think that's around 5 p.m. Pacific, I think. I'm not sure exactly what time, but Willie asked me yesterday if I wanted to come onto a show on Sunday. So I said, absolutely, I will be there. So I'm going to be I'm going to be on a live every day for the next week and a half. So that's going to be fun. Y'all are going to have to see my face for the next week and a half every day. I'm sorry. I can show you kitty butt if he'll let me. You can look at kitty booty. Look at the kitty booty. Look at the kitty booty. Yeah. We'll let Mr. Burton show off his kitty booty. Oh, thank you, Lana. Yeah, you missed it. I'm so sorry. I did not get to go to Florida. No. They got the budget from the Adam and Eve, and they weren't able to pay for me to do the behind the scenes stuff, video camera work. So I stayed at home with the kitties and the animals. I was a little bit worried about leaving the animals at home that long by themselves with just the neighbors checking on them once a day. So I was really upset that I couldn't go, but I was kind of excited that I got to spend the week at home with my animals, just us. I got to sleep in my bed with like all of my animals on the bed the whole night. So it was kind of nice, but no, I didn't get to go. And the hubby's already back. So, but I will be back tomorrow. Thank you, Lana. I will be back tomorrow. I do 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern. And I will be on different shows throughout this whole week. I'll be on mine from today until Friday. Extra Booyah's on Saturday, and then the Willie Bragg show on Sunday, and then back to my show again next week. So I will be on all week long. Please hit the like button if you can. Helps out with the algorithms and all that stuff. Yes, it's Mr. Burton. He's so sweet. He's just chilling right here next to me. Look at him. Well, I got Miss Lady down here as well. So I'm my little zoo. I call myself I'm Dr. Doolittle, my little zoo at home. Got some rest after these crazy weeks. Yes. Thank you for being so kind. Oh, that's so sweet. Yeah, I'm excited. We got some more snow today, but it's not too bad. I think they're saying it's only going to be about 10 inches. So not enough to really get much, trouble in. Most of the snow is already melted except for the giant piles. So we're doing good now. I'm excited. But yes. Okay. So I will, when you come down, hit you up. Try to get Marcus to come. Yeah, absolutely. I definitely want to go. Now that my husband went and showed me all the cool stuff out there, I really want to go. He went on one of those like see-through canoes, and a manatee swam underneath his boat and stuff. So I definitely want to go see that. I've never seen a manatee in real life. Never seen a crocodile in real life. And I did not realize the water out there is so fucking pretty. Oh my God. It's like clear water. And it's like this like jungle-y forest areas with this beautiful water. Oh my God. Florida's gorgeous. Just from the pictures I got from my husband, I was like, holy fuck, it's beautiful out there. So I definitely want to go out to Florida now for sure. I want to go see like Mar-a-Lago and the Scientology stuff and all of the crazy stuff. Glass bottom boat. Yes. That's what he was on. And it was so cool because he got video facing it down and you could see the manatee swimming underneath him, and it just turns to his face and he's like, oh my God. Never seen one before in his life. So I'm excited. I want to go so bad now. So maybe we'll see. We're definitely saving up for June for our anniversary to do something. So maybe we'll go to Florida. I want to go somewhere else other than just staying in this state. So we always just go camping for our anniversary. I want to do something different. All right, let me get out of here. Glass bottom boat. Yeah. Did he go to the west side of Florida? I think he said he went to, it was like right in the center. I know that he said that there was like houses with ranches with a lot of property. And he said right in the area where they were, if there was a flood, that they would be completely flooded out. I guess it was like the skinniest part of Florida. But they were like right in the middle in some like country land. There was a lot of cowboys. I guess they dressed like cowboys, but they listened to rap and smoked weed, which sounds like a typical Floridian. So I guess it's like country bumpkiny area out there. I have no idea. Lots of ranches and stuff. So Mar-a-Lago is down the block from you. I want to go see it so bad, just so I could say I've seen Mar-a-Lago. I did say I wanted to see it before he went to Florida. I wanted to see it because I thought that his ex-wife was buried there, but I guess she's buried at the other place or somewhere else. So I wanted to go give penance to his ex-wife, who sadly had to get buried by him in his own land. So, but Mar-a-Lago's cool enough too. Definitely want to go check it out for sure. Central Florida, yeah, I think that's where he was, just like the country area. He ended up getting he got like gator popcorn gator nuggets and stuff like that too. So very like country-ish, but still got that Florida-ishness to it as well. So yeah. All right, let me get out of here. Jesus fucking Christ. All right, you guys made me pass 10 minutes past. All right, I will talk to you all tomorrow. You all have a good day. And I'll probably see all of you in the in the hooligans chats, because that's pretty much where I live anyway. So all right, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.